Hi friends! Welcome back to the Goose and Ghost Knitting Podcast. My name is Ashley. I am the maker and designer behind Goose and Ghost Knits. You can find me on Instagram as Goose and Ghost Knits and on Ravelry as Goose and Ghost. And I'm coming to you today from lovely, beautiful, sunny Cle Elum, Washington, in the middle of the Cascade Mountains. And this is my first podcast in a little bit. I had to take a little break to go on a work trip to go boat racing, and I'm home now, so it's time to record. I also have a lot of blush on my nose. It kind of makes me look like those cartoons, at least on the viewfinder it does. It looks like those cartoons of like the white man that goes to the beach and just their nose gets burnt. It's a cute look. Normally I really like just like a heavy blush on my nose, but I think with my glasses might not be the move. I don't normally wear my glasses, but my contacts are like dead, so it is what it is. So, first podcast in a little bit. I have a lot to share. I worked on a lot while I was gone. I think the last one I recorded was 4 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, so there's a lot going on. I've got some FOs, some works in progress, some acquisitions, last acquisitions until Flock, kind of. We'll talk about it later. And some updates about bags. So we'll get started here first with, I'm not wearing any knits today. I don't have a lot of summer knits or summer makes in general. I have sewn garments now, but most of my garments are either dresses, which I do have a decent amount of summer dresses that I've made, or skirts, but I don't have a lot of tops that I'm happy with yet, just because I have a full bust, so I need to learn how to do a full bust adjustment. I haven't done that yet, but we'll get to it. So no makes on today, just a t-shirt dress from Old Navy. Comfy, cozy. Don't really need cozy today because it's, I think, going to be 90 degrees again. Happy summer. Happy July. It's great. But we'll jump right in with, we'll start with FOs because this is, in fact, a knitting podcast. I have 3 FOs today. 3. How crazy is that? Let's see. Where is my sock blocker? Shit, where did I put my sock? Oh, sock blocker's right in front of me. Okay, so we'll start with the one that I finished first. And the only one, so all 3 FOs that I have are socks. I kind of made that my priority while I was away to finish up some long-standing whips, and then there was a lot going on. We were busy and running all over the place, so socks were just an easy on-the-go project. So, first one that I finished was, I only have one sock blocker right now. I still, after moving, don't know where my second one is. The first one I finished is this one right here. I had already finished this one, and you'll notice I've got a blue toe and a red toe, and that's because in between finishing this one and starting this one, I lost the blue mini. I have no clue where it is. So we went for a mismatched moment. I don't mind it. I actually kind of really like it. So these are the Santa Soar socks by me. I'll have the pattern linked down below on Etsy and Ravelry. And it is just a broken rib variation all over texture sock. And I knit this in Yarnaceous Fibers, Mummy's Very Angry, and this is actually a mini from Yarnaceous as well. I designed the original sock using this mini. I did this pattern in collaboration with Yarnaceous Fiber for her Christmas Eve cast on box. And in this version, I took out, up at the cuff here, there's a little bit of color work and some baubles to make it very Christmassy and cute. I took all of the baubles and the color work out, and it is just the all over texture on this one. So this is a really great sock for like if you need something really stretchy, or if you want something that's almost vanilla but just need a little bit of variation. This is a great sock for that. So I'm very excited to probably update the pattern with the recommendations for excluding the color work and baubles to make an all over texture sock. So we'll look out for that soon. The next one I finished. You didn't help me finish these. Oh, it helps if I put the sock on the foot side and not the leg side. It won't quite fit on the leg side. The next pair I finished is one that I started at the last boat race last year in 2022 in San Diego, California. So I made the first one there, and then I made the second one at the first boat race in 2023. So knocked out the long-standing whips. This was my Christmas Eve cast on. I started these on Christmas Eve and I finished them this weekend, or in the last couple weeks. So this is the Stillwater Socks by Summer Lee. It just has this little bit of a texture and a faux cable down the side. And the fun thing about this is these are the colors of the boat that my family owns, and we run and we race. So I did something a little bit on theme, a little fun. And I work on the team as the social media manager and assistant manager, kind of help with anything that is not needed on the boat. So we've got 3 different yarns here. The neon yellow, oh geez, I didn't take notes today. The neon yellow is Seismic Yarns Not So Mellow Yellow. The blue is Lang Yarns Jowl, I'm not sure. And the red is Katya One United Sock? I don't remember. But of course it'll be linked down below. I'll have it listed in my Ravelry page. So these are done. So cute. I may have to wear them. I don't know if I will, because you know, like wool socks in 100+ degree heat, not the most comfortable, but you know, it would be so cute to have neon yellow socks and that match the boat at the boat race. How cute would that be? I think it would be so cute. It would be so cute. So that was FO number 2. And FO number 3 is the last pair of socks that I've got here. I took some Felici that I've had sitting in my stash for a long time and started them and finished them in the course of 3 days. So this is what they look like. Super, super fun, self-striping, like orange and pink sunset colors. This, I did do the stripes differently on each one because I only had one 50-gram ball. So yes, I am able to get a full pair of socks out of a 50-gram skein. So this one was actually the one that I did first, and I didn't yarn manage at all. But look how perfectly the heel is. Perfect. The stripes lined up like that. It wasn't as perfect on the second one. You can see the pink started and goes up here, but it still looks pretty good. So the first one I have a 50-gram ball. I did all of it up until the toe in that one ball, and I don't know where the toe is from. It's a mini skein that I pulled from my stash. I want to say it's from Sorella, from an Oopsie bundle, but I'm not sure. I have no clue. But it matches this color almost perfectly. It was very satisfying. So I started this one from the outside of the ball, and the second one I started from the inside of the ball. So the stripe patterns go in opposite directions, which I think is kind of fun. It's a little bit different. And the other thing with this sock is I've noticed lately that my socks are just gapping a little bit more. They're a little bit too loose. So on past socks, like both of these, I knit a shadow wrap heel and then 60 rows down the foot. With this one, I did the shadow wrap heel and then 50 rows down the foot, or 55 down the foot. And I'm not totally sure yet, but it does feel a little bit tighter. It does feel a little bit more secure. I'm not completely satisfied with it yet. I think I'm going to need to mess with something else because I'm having issues right here. So I feel like around my ankle I need less stitches to help cinch it in, and then to expand out around my heel, that might be where I go from here. So I will try that out on the next pair of socks that I make for myself. I am casting on a pair of socks tomorrow for sock week for Nitty Natty's make along, but I'm going to gift them to my mom. And so I don't want to experiment on socks for her when I've made socks for her in the past and they fit perfectly fine. She's never complained. She actually says that they feel really great. So I'm going to keep to the formula that I have for my mom for what I have for her. So those are the 3 FOs that I finished over the last couple weeks. I did bring one other skein of yarn with me on the trip, and it was this tweedy, a rainbow tweed and gray from Undercover Otter with a purple mini that I actually dyed myself using Kool-Aid and Crystal Light. And I didn't touch them. I actually finished these on the drive home from the airport. So I just didn't get to them. I was working on other projects. I was having fun. But I'm glad that I brought them because if I didn't, I would inevitably run out of knitting. So we'll jump over to the whips now, and I can tell you why I inevitably would have run out of knitting. Because I'm a big old dummy. So this project is stored in one of my project bags that I made for myself and will be available soon for purchase. This is my stripy cozy classic raglan light, and you guys, I'm in love with this project. I am in love with it. Look at how cute. Somebody told me the other day that it gives off those perfect late summer, early fall vibes, and yes, that is all that I want in life is late summer, early fall. Well, still just a little bit warm, but you can feel that crisp. Delicious. Love it. So this is what we've got right now. And actually this green matches my dress that I'm wearing today. That is the back. Doesn't really matter right now. I'm not going to put it on. But this is where I'm at right now. I have just separated for sleeves and finished the stripe. You can't see that because it's flaring up really bad. Just finished the stripe that the color that the sleeve separation is on. And there we go. This is a fingering weight sweater. I am doing a stripe every 12 rounds. And so this brown is going to be all of the cuffs, the neckband, the wrists, and the hemline. It is Cascade Heritage in brown, whatever the brown is. This lighter, really pretty, speckly variegated green is Coast to Coast Yarn Yarn Co. in Foraging Gold. This really dark tweedy green is Grenouille Co. The Black Forest. And this color that is almost exactly my skin tone is Coast to Coast Yarn Co.'s Polypore. And I love it. It's so cute. But this is where I'm a big old dummy. I've done most of this since I've gotten home. I can actually see, from here. From here is, I've done all of this since I've gotten home. And the rows keep getting bigger. Because I knit on ChiaoGoo interchangeable needles, almost exclusively. I have a couple of fixed needles for very long lengths that I use for shawls, and I have a couple of fixed needles for socks, but other than that, I almost only use ChiaoGoo needles, ChiaoGoo interchangeables. And when I was packing, I didn't pack any extra needles or cords or my set. And when I left, the project was on a 16-inch circular cord. Now, if you know anything about knitting a sweater, knitting a yoke, it expands rapidly. So you need that 16-inch to start, because that's how many stitches will fit. And then it goes up and up, and soon your stitches won't fit on a 16-inch needle, and it needs a 30-inch or a 40-inch. And I didn't bring one. I messed up. I only brought that 16-inch needle. That was the only needle that I brought. I didn't bring, the only other needles that I brought were for socks and my fixed needle that's attached to my wedding shawl. That was it. And because we were traveling in a semi-truck, it wasn't like I could go stop and pull over and we could go to a local yarn shop. It's usually not accessible to get to with a semi-truck. We were also on a deadline to get from Seattle-ish to Nashville in a short amount of time. So we didn't have time to go find a yarn store. So I had to stop working on it, even though that was like all I wanted to knit on. I kept trying like to find a yarn shop locally, and we stop at Walmart a lot because legally a driver of a semi-truck has to stop for 30 minutes for every 11 hours, I think, that they drive. I may be wrong on the numbers. I just get out of the truck when they tell me it's time to stop. But you have to take a 30-minute break, basically. So we stop at Walmart a lot because the parking lots are usually accessible for a semi, and it's something to do where we can actually get out and walk around. And so I looked at every single Walmart that we stopped at for like a fixed needle that would be long enough, but Walmart needles only go down to a size 6, a US 6, and that wasn't gonna work when I need a US 5 for my gauge. I think the pattern calls for a US 4, I needed a US 5. So that wasn't going to work. So I just had to stop and wait until I got home, and that was like one of the first things I did once I got home was sit down and get going on the sweater again. And I so desperately want to keep going on this. I'm having so much fun with it. Stripes are really addicting to me right now. Like, I knit this. In the last episode you saw that I did another 2 pairs of self-striping socks. They're so addicting to me right now. That's all I want to knit. I'm so excited to knit more stripes because it's so satisfying to see the colors change and you just want to get to the next one. And I'm having so much fun with it. But you'll notice down here that it's on stitch holders because I started a different sweater. I want to keep working on this. I desperately want to keep working on this. But Flock Fiber Festival is coming up next month, in like less than a month. And, you know, it's going to be August. It's going to be warm. I can't just rewear a sweater that I've already made because it will be warm. I do need to make a shirt or a tank top for Flock. It is what it is. I have to. I have to show up to a fiber festival in a new sweater. It's like a Rhinebeck sweater, but it's gonna be my Flock tee because it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be the first weekend of August, so ye old Rhinebeck sweater won't quite be applicable for a middle of summer fiber festival, unfortunately. So I needed my needles for a different project because my gauge lined up to be the same for the t-shirt, and I needed the US 5 needle for the t-shirt, and I just started it yesterday. While I was sitting down and listening to the first half of Taylor Swift's Speak Now, Taylor's version, I sat down and I cast on my Flock sweater, Flock tee, which is going to be the Miserina by Caitlin Hunter. And right now, you're like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is all I've gotten to so far. Yesterday kind of ended up being a bit of a busy day. I got the collar all done. It's a roll collar with twisted rib, and then I've just started the lace section, and then I did the short rows too. So this is the yarn that we've got. It's really, really pretty green. So that's going to be my main color. This is what my current ball looks like. It's not a pretty ball. It's not in good shape. I actually rescued both of these skeins from my Stephen West MCal from last year. What was it this last year? I don't remember. I didn't like it, so I stopped knitting it. And I rescued the yarn. And I didn't like knitting it. And after seeing the final thing, I didn't like the final product, so I'm glad that I decided not to finish it and reclaim the yarn for something else. So this is my main color. This is really pretty variegated. I got this in an oopsie bundle from Sorella Yarns. I suspect that it is Ivy from the Taylor Swift collection, which is actually re-releasing this week. I'm not going to buy anything because I have no money, but I love this. It's so pretty. It's such a good green. And then my contrast color is this minty icy blue green from Knit Picks. This is Knit Picks Stroll Tonal and Eucalyptus. And this is them together. They're going to be so good. So good. So, hopefully I can get to the color work today. There's a little lace section, and then there's the color work that has, actually I can show you my gauge swatch. My gauge swatch is ugly. This is probably the ugliest gauge swatch I have ever done, because I didn't realize how difficult gauge swatching color work in the round would be. It's gonna look so good. I'm really excited. So I'm kind of hoping that I can get to the color work today. I've got a lot I got to get done today. It's Saturday, but that doesn't matter because I'm starting a new business endeavor with my small business, so I gotta get it done today. It is what it is. So I gotta get a lot done today, so hopefully when I find my knitting time later, I can get through the lace chart and move on to the color work chart. And it has cables on it too. It's gonna be really cute, but right now it is a little nubbin. A little nothing. It'll look like this. Ta-da! Here's my flock sweater. I have 4 weeks to knit an entire fingering weight t-shirt. While going to boat races and working on a bunch of stuff for my small business, which I will talk about later, for my bag making and art, and there's a lot going on. It's gonna be busy. Okay. I'll talk about my wedding shawl really briefly because I did work on it ever so briefly. There's not much to say. If you don't know, I'm getting married in January. It's gonna be very cold. I need a shawl for outside pictures. So I'm gonna knit myself one. This is Poet by Sari Nordland. This is where we're at. Gotten really far. It's kind of embarrassing, but this is all I did. I need to step up my game. I need to, maybe after I finish my flock, my Miserina, because that's going to be priority for the next couple weeks. Once I finish my Miserina, I'll sit down and like work on this for a week straight. Really get some progress on it. I would love to have some progress on it. So the last thing that I worked on while I was gone, here we are my granny squares. So I have an advent calendar from 2021, right? Yeah, 2021, from McMullen Fiber Co. that I am crocheting up a bunch of granny squares for. These kind of ones right here that are circle to square. And I worked on a bunch of them. Let me see which ones. Okay. I don't have any of the names for these, but this calendar is based off of the Chiltern Classics books. I think this one's like Sense and Sensibility. And I'm doing 2 right now. My plan is to do 2 of each kind for each colorway, and I will decide at that point if that is the number of squares that I'm going to want for a blanket, and then if I need to make more, I'll make more. And then there's this one. Actually, you know what? I took pictures as I was going with these. Let's see if I can figure it out. Okay, so I was wrong. This one, this is Sense and Sensibility. And you know, I haven't woven in any ends. So this is Sense and Sensibility. And I'm just keeping all of my finished squares in this Ziploc bag that I rescued from making sandwiches. This one, these ones, this pink and gray, is Wuthering Heights. And this one's really pretty. I really like this one a lot. This one is Treasure Island. Super pretty. I love this blue. I love that blue a lot. So then the last one, I only made one of the last one that I started. This is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. You can like really see all of the colors. That really kind of makes it feel like Alice in Wonderland. But I may have to stop these fairly soon, unfortunately, because this is all that I have left. Like, it's smaller now than my mini skeins. all that I have left of that cream color. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne and Bear. So I'm gonna have to stop these soon once I run out of this, and wait for income to be a little bit more reliable, and then I'll buy some more and keep going on those. So I'm really enjoying these. I need to, maybe I'll just wait until I've run out of yarn on that skein of Hawthorne and then weave in the ends. Is this me just procrastinating? Maybe. Maybe. However, if it gets me out of doing it for just a little bit longer, maybe it's a good idea. Maybe I'll have to do it. Maybe it's for the best. Who knows? So I think that is in fact all of my works in progress, everything that I've been working on. Yeah, that actually was a lot of knitting, and I kind of zoomed through it. I feel like I didn't talk a whole lot about all of them, but we'll see. Once I start editing it, we'll see. So we'll move on now to acquisitions, and we'll go through this quickly, because I just have 2 skeins of yarn. I didn't get any souvenir skeins or anything for my road trip, but I did. Right before I left, I had a gift card that I bought right before Christmas from Vista Dyeworks, that they were doing a deal where, like, if you spend $100, you get $10 off your gift card, or $20 off your gift card or something. So I bought it because it was a great deal, and I've been saving it until, like, there was colorways I was really excited for, and I knew that June, she does that, like, yearly colorways, so they pop up once a year for a month. June, there were some colorways that I was really excited for, so I put in my order in June with my gift card. I bought both of these on her Vista base, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon fingering weight. The first one is in Moraine Lake. These are self-striping, and you know, like I just talked about, I'm on a striping kick right now, so I'm probably going to make these fairly soon because I was so excited. So Moraine Lake is a very special place to me. It's in Banff National Park in Canada, and my fiance and I visited it fairly early into our relationship, but I think it was like 3 years into our relationship, and it's just been like a special place for us ever since. We always talk about going back, and we've talked about going there on our honeymoon. It's special. The other one that I got is also a very special place, but just to me, not to him. He doesn't love this one as much. But this one is called The Happiest Place on Earth, and it is, of course, for Disneyland. I love Disneyland. I've talked about it so many times before. My favorite place in the entire world. Well, Disney World's my favorite place in the entire world, but these two make me very happy. They're very, very pretty. They're kind of similar, but not similar enough where I feel like I shouldn't have gotten both. I love them both. I'm very excited to use them. We'll see where they end up. Probably socks. We'll see if I make one of them as not vanilla. I might do like, I'm curious like what the Santa sword pattern will look like on the self-striping. So we'll try that maybe. It could look cute. So the last kind of crafting thing that I have to talk about today is project bags. So I talked about this in my last episode, that in the coming weeks I will be launching project bags with my own artwork on them, and all of the fabric has just arrived and production starts today. So that's one of the things that I gotta do today, is I'm going to start cutting all of the fabric, all of the bags. I washed all of it yesterday, so it's all ready to go. So I'll be cutting and ironing like crazy today. So I wanted to show you the 3 fabrics, the 3 main fabrics that will be featured in launch number 1. So the first 2 you have already seen. we'll have the Knitting Notions fabric. And this one, we're going to have a very limited number because I am going to change the colors long term for my shop. This colorway is going to be exclusive to my Spoonflower shop, so you can purchase this color, but I have the fabric, so I will be making a couple bags out of the Crochet Notions fabric. It will be limited, and it's only going to be in the smallest size. And the last fabric I have is one that I'm actually really excited about. It's a little bit out of left field. This is inspired by a picture that Kay, the crazy sock lady, put up on her Instagram stories a couple weeks ago of her petunias and was like, I need a colorway out of this. Yeah?
I'm ready.
Okay. I need a colorway out of this. So instead I was like, well, can I draw them and turn them into a project bag? Yes. So all of those will be in production starting today. My bags will look like this. So all of those fabrics will be this main fabric here, and then I've got contrast fabrics for the top where they scrunch up, and this fabric up here will also be fully lined. So those start as soon as I'm done recording and running to the grocery store with my mom. So I'm back. I'm wearing a different shirt. The camera looks all a little bit different because it's a different day. I actually shot most of the episode on Sunday, and it's now Friday, and I'm planning on uploading this video tonight or tomorrow morning. So I actually planned to upload this like earlier in the week, but like life happened, so it is what it is, and I'm now recording now. But the good news is, I got my June Fangirl Fibers Disney Parks Attractions subscription club in, so I can show you now. So spoilers, but I already popped it up. This is what it looks like. It's not gonna focus because it's thinking about focusing. It can. No. Okay, so it's mostly white with gray and blue and a couple of like yellowy speckles. This is Expedition Everest. It's very pretty. I like it a lot. Fits the theme. And we love a Yeti themed roller coaster that could break at literally any moment. It's great. So I'm gonna keep all of the knitting that I've done since I started filming the episode for my next episode. I actually haven't knit that much since I recorded last. It's been a busy week. I started working full time on my work again, so it's been busy. It's been real busy. So I just want to like give a little run through on how my trip went and tell you about everything exciting over the last couple weeks, because it's been a busy like month. It's been really busy. So the trip started here in Cleveland, about an hour and a half east of Seattle, and we drove from Cleveland we spent a day in St. Louis to visit family, and from St. Louis we drove to Nashville, spent another couple days with family. From Nashville we went to Gunnersville, Alabama, which is about an hour and a half southeast of Huntsville. And then from Gunnersville we had a boat race. We went back to Nashville, spent a couple more days with the family there, From Nashville, we went to Madison, Indiana, which is about an hour from Louisville, about an hour, like right in between Louisville and Indianapolis, right on the Ohio River, right on the border of Kentucky. And then from there, my fiance and I flew home. So we didn't have to drive back. We just had to drive out there. And we were driving out in a semi-truck, which was a unique experience, not one that I'm looking forward to repeating. Hopefully I'm not going to repeat it. Not really my favorite thing that I've done, but it was an experience. I will tell you that. It was an experience. It was cool. We got to see a lot of family that we don't get to see because they live on opposite sides of the country from us, and got to see a lot. You know, boat racing is fun. Put it that way. It's an experience. It's not something that, I mean, most people don't ever get to experience something like that, but it's just what I grew up with. My parents have been boat racing for their careers for my entire life. So it's just all that I know. But this is the first time where our team has actually been like really competitive. So that makes things more exciting. It makes things more fun when you're like not just scraping by. And as it sits right now, halfway through the season, we are sitting in first place in national high points, which has never happened before. So that's really exciting. So, let's see, what are some highlights that happened? I'd say the best food that we ate the whole time was in St. Louis. It was actually in St. Charles. My uncle took us to like the historic part of St. Charles, where everything's all original to the 1800s and all the buildings are still the same, and it's really cute. I would have loved to just walk around there for hours. And we went and checked out like the Lewis and Clark Museum because that's actually where they started the trip west, was right there. And he took us to this barbecue restaurant that was super, super good. Really good. And I know like St. Louis is known for barbecue, but I enjoyed it a lot. And then in Nashville, the first time we didn't really do anything. It was mostly like, okay, we get a day off from driving, but actually we still have to do more boat racing prep now that we're closer to the races. So we had to sit there and make a whole bunch of merch. Like we were not screen printing, but like heat pressing on all of our t-shirts that we were selling, and hats and stuff. So we were doing all of that in prep there, and hung out with my cousin, and she has a 1-year-old, so it was very exciting to see her and her family. And then both